Dystopia warning, obviously. Welcome back to General Election Watch, day 789. Now, I will be doing a proper video soon, with all the weird and crazy things that I've clipped over the last 48 hours. Been a bit uneventful, isn't it? Things are going so bad for the Conservatives that the Daily Mail have started digging up the ghost of Lord Lucan. At this point, I think the Tories are so desperate for candidates because they still have hundreds to find. And nobody wants to, stand in a losing battle. They're so desperate that I strongly think that they would consider digging up Thatcher and reanimating her. Although judging by their track record, when it comes to pervs, they might also consider digging up Savile. I mean, he was a big supporter of the Tories, wasn't he? And they were a big supporter of him. I'd just like to add that this woman in that famous viral clip of Ed Miliband meeting constituents who was like, machine gun them. She's one of my all-time biggest heroes.
I know. We've got to do something about them, don't we?
Machine gunners.
Well, I don't think that's a good idea, but we need to get them out. You're right. We definitely need to get them out. Take care.
Her and the older lady who daubed bastard on the statue of Margaret Thatcher, who as yet is still at large. Snitches get stitches. I want to talk to you today about voting. Sexy topic, isn't it? Well, it actually is. If you're seeing someone and they say they're not going to vote, don't shag them. Now, I get a lot of criticism levelled at me, all day, every day. From the hard left, the hard right. What are the common words that are thrown around? Centrist, liberal, Starmerite, none of which are true. But, someone called me a political lightweight today. Never claimed to be a political heavyweight, mate. More of a political piss taker. I've only ever offered my opinion. People have absolutely no obligation to listen to me. I started off during the pandemic just roasting Tory MPs and people really liked it, and then it got wildly out of hand. So I started looking into investigative journalism, started using the audience that I'd amassed to tell people what the papers don't tell them. I didn't come out of Oxford with a politics degree, but that doesn't mean that my opinion isn't an educated one. I know the important things like the basic difference between right and wrong, the limitations of our voting system, what the morally correct thing to do is. I hate injustice and I hate bullies, and the last 14 years has just been injustice and bullying. So in the next general election, I'm going to be voting first and foremost to deal with the emergency that we're in, which is basically at this point opposing the far right. And I'm going to be voting with the needs of the most vulnerable person that I know at the forefront of my mind. I'll be making my decision for them. For the millions in poverty, for the 4.2 million kids in poverty that grew up like I had to grow up. My formative years were spent under the dying embers of a Conservative government. And this current Conservative government make John Major look like a hippie. I'm doing it for the millions that cannot physically or mentally endure another 5 years of this. They're my primary concern. My priorities are in order. First past the post is a wildly undemocratic voting system. So I'm promoting the loophole. And I'm encouraging everyone that I know to do the same, and everyone that I can reach to do the same. Because tactical voting is how we will destroy the bastards that have ruined our lives for the last 14 years. I'm going to be voting for Labour. My vote for Labour isn't based on any form of tribal or ideological loyalty. It isn't based on loving them as a party. That's not what politics is for me, and it's not what I think it should be for anybody. It's practical. They're our route out. If you idolise leaders of parties, that makes them beyond reproach, doesn't it? I know they'll do a better job. And I'm not being funny, but the bar is in hell. A discarded shop mannequin in a ditch, in a lay-by, by an A road, would do a better job than the current lot that we have in power. My choices are logical, not ideological. I hear people saying all the time, I can't vote for Labour, and I'll use them as an example because that's the one that comes up the most. I can't vote for them because X, Y reason, right? I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just telling you what will happen. And a lot of the people that I talk to about it know precisely what will happen. They know how first past the post works, and they're going to do it anyway. If you vote for, say, a Green or an Independent in an area where you know they're not going to win, but they will split the progressive vote, and you know that will assist a Tory in winning, slow clap. You've just vicariously become a Conservative voter, and you've done it knowingly. You will not stop a two-party system by enabling and assisting the people that benefit from that the most. It's wildly illogical. Be brave, vote for change, they say. Except no, mate, it's not going to change anything, is it? It's just going to maintain this hell. You'll be in the same situation, sniping from the sidelines as a protester, as authoritarianism rages on. I get the impression some commentators and their supporters would quite like that position, to be fair. Especially the commentators, because factional outrage is a pretty lucrative money spinner for some of them. Not for those that have to face the consequences, though. Never, ever make political figures your idols or your heroes. We've seen firsthand what happens when populism gets its claws into our democracy. Get people like Nigel Farage, don't we? He's heavily influenced Tory policy, and that's how we've ended up with Blue Kip and British politicians following the Bannon playbook. Farage is a shit that will not flush until we collectively yank the chain and reject his outdated, fascistic con. There's a lot of people out there saying, let's go for a hung parliament, shall we? Yeah, nice one. You might be privileged enough to risk another 5 years of this. I can't risk it. Millions can't. But that change that we were talking about earlier on, where people want an end to like the two-party system as it stands, our plan is to end the party. And by that I mean the Conservative Party. They're projected to be on course for a wipeout. We can achieve it collectively. Our dream, our obsession, and our sexual kink is to put the Conservatives in third place. And we can do it. Can you imagine how different PMQs would be if we had the Lib Dems on the opposition benches and the Tories relegated to the corner, only able to ask one question? This is an achievable change that tactical voting can bring. Two progressive parties heading up British politics. No more culture wars, no more reform or Farage or Tice getting their grubby mitts on our politics. And it's possible. A lot of people were going around, like there's one particular commentator who is like saying, because that one poll was good, that's proof that we don't need to tactically vote. There's no guarantee, even at this point, that Labour's going to win the election. And if everyone that's going around going, Labour are guaranteed to win, might just vote for this person who hasn't got a shot in hell, what do you think will happen? You don't change a two-horse race by helping the horse that always wins. I encourage people to vote against the National Front. Vote against the aforementioned, privately educated, upper class hole con men cosplaying as patriots who destroy our country so that their hedge funder and disaster capitalist mates can cash in and make even more money, so that they themselves can make loads of money and attain power, which will corrupt them even further, whilst we deal with the consequences of engineered decline. Vote to take our country back from racists. Then join our campaign for after the election. We have demands of the incoming government, yeah. We want voter reform, we want press reform, so that billionaire tax dodgers stop choosing our politicians. And this is phase 1 of the plan to achieve our aims. So my advice to people would be, vote tactically, destroy them. Oh, and never fuck a Tory. Yeah, that's pretty good advice too, because unless it's in a general election.